Thomas is the administrator of the Warner's Senior Citizen Home, where we just installed wireless smoke detectors, which this makes this building now covered by detectors. And not only that, Michelle has on her phone. Michelle, where your phone? Right, so let's see Michelle phone. You bring your phone. Alright, on Michelle's phone, Michelle can just open your phone. Go on the app. What app is it? X-Sense. And she can now monitor the smoke detectors that have been installed at the Shibona Senior Citizens Home. That gives her the ability, even if she's not at the home, she's going to get that information directly to her phone. Alright, so Michelle, I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to come to this home and to try to make this home a safer place for everyone who lives here. So I want to thank you on behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service.
I want to thank you on behalf of PCS and this.
You're welcome.
These tips can save your life. International Fire Prevention Week is here. This year's theme, smoke alarms. Make them work for you. Is your family protected while you sleep? Do you know most deadly house fires take place between midnight and 6 a.m.? This is because generally everyone is sleeping. Smoke alarms can be your first line of defense in those crucial early morning hours. Every second counts. A fire can double in size in only a matter of moments. Smoke alarms may annoy, but they can save lives. Before we get to this, you can get this. To get your smoke alarms, visit your most convenient, certified safety supplier.
Good morning and welcome back. As you saw in our introduction this morning, we are talking about fire and fire preparedness. And to have this conversation with me this morning, I have the pleasure of sitting in studio with Fire Sub Officer Jude Rogers, who is in charge of fire prevention, who is a fire prevention officer, as well as acting fire station officer Basil Winchester. Good morning, guys, and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Shenell.
So no one can really predict a fire happening at their homes, but what they can do is prepare in the instance that something does happen by equipping their homes with smoke detectors, fire detectors, as well as, you know, having
A fire
the
extinguisher.
fire extinguisher.
Yeah, that's correct.
So talk to us about the need to make it a mandatory part of your home building and home renovation process.
Okay, so that's a very, very important point that you made. The fact that it should be mandatory, so it's not mandatory in all residential properties. However, it is mandatory in businesses. As you know, a business has to be approved under the OSH Act. Part 5 of the OSH Act pertains to fire, and you must be certified. But we need to take it a step further. And that form of, or that piece of legislation, we must first have some level of consultation. We must at least speak to residential properties and property owners before we can make something like that law. But we're heading in that direction. So it's just a matter of time before a smoke detector, a fire extinguisher becomes mandatory for all residential properties. And Shenell, the need for that comes out of the statistics that we've been looking at over the last 5 to 6 years. Residential fires have been hovering around 600 per year, working out to be approximately 2 fires per day. Just yesterday, I believe, in Tobago, there was a fire officer. Yeah, there was a fire that took place, and total destruction of a property. With the smoke detector that we've introduced and that we've brought to your attention this year, we can now be alerted earlier and then make a positive difference.
All right. And Officer Winchester, tell us about some of the efforts that your team has been making to, you know, outside of being here on Tobago Updates, to really bring awareness in the community about the importance of having those smoke detectors and having those fire extinguishers in homes.
Okay, well, the theme was developed from National Fire Protection Association, and the team is worldwide. Smoke detectors, make them work for you.
Yes.
We in Tobago, we developed on that team, and we implemented evacuation drills, outreach programs to schools, different homes, to make them aware of the fire extinguishers we use.
Right. I remember at some point, you know, at work, you know, in my workplace, there were officers who came and, you know, taught us about, you know, the different types of fire extinguishers and the importance of the different type of smoke detectors and fire detectors, that there are differences in those and where they should be located in the home. Whether there's the one that detects heat and there's the one that detects smoke, and whether it should be in the corridors of your home or in the kitchen area. But this is something that persons don't really know, that there are differences in the detectors. There are some that detect the heat and some that detect smoke, and where should each one be located.
So that's a very good point that you're making. So what we suggest, or what the international standard that we adhere to, which is also under the NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, indicates that smoke detectors should be placed in every bedroom in your home. Why? Because the first sign of a fire that you get is smoke. So if you were to try to identify whether there's a fire, you'd want to get that initial smoke. And smoke has a particular signature and a method by which it operates. It tends to rise to the highest point in your room. So the location of the smoke detector is always going to be to the ceiling in the center of the room. If, however, your room has a slanted roof, you would want to put it at the highest point of that, and you can wall mount it. All right? So the key here is, obviously, you will not place a smoke detector in the kitchen, because, as you know, if you're cooking, Shenell, the first thing that happens when you're bubbling a pot, so to speak, you're going to develop smoke, and you don't want a nuisance call to take place where the smoke detector is going off unnecessarily. Then you'll begin to ignore the smoke detector. So for the kitchen, we recommend a heat detector, and for your bedrooms, corridors, storerooms, we recommend smoke detectors.
All right, and Officer Winchester, you guys have been, alerting the community on the importance of having the smoke and heat detectors, but where can persons get these items if they'd like them?
Well, for this week, we will be distributing detectors freely to people, businesses, residences, schools, etc. However, if you want to purchase it, there are outlets, registered outlets, you can get it. Revs, for example, Revs.
All right, excellent. So, what qualifies a business or persons to receive one of these free smoke detectors?
That's a good question again. Okay, so our focus has been looking at the statistics. Everything that we do and decision making in the fire services is decision making based on stats. You have to look at the empirical data and be guided accordingly. So when we look at the data, Shenell, we've noticed that the increase in death by fires, and we've had 10 deaths so far updated up to our statistics for 2024. We've had 10 deaths in Trinidad and Tobago. And we want that figure to actually be stymied. We don't want that to go up. But the fact of the matter is, we've noticed that the population that is most at risk are the elderly and the very, very young. Hence the reason why our focus is on the at-risk community in the home for the aged and in the orphanages and in the children's home and in the preschools. So they would qualify for the limited amount of smoke detectors that have been donated by safety companies in Trinidad and Tobago, including Tobago companies. They've donated, and they've said to the fire service, we want you to take the lead in terms of installing in the at-risk community. So that would be home for the aged, children's home, and those preschools.
Right, and now we are seeing that new technology is being introduced to fire detectors. In the opening, you indicated that there are some smoke detectors that have Wi-Fi connectivity that you can monitor on your phone. Tell us a bit about that.
Right, so if I may, in my hand is a prototype of the wireless smoke detector. This particular detector can connect to your phone and the Wi-Fi in your home. So you can easily connect this detector, and it will communicate with your phone once you have data if there is an alert because of a fire getting into the chamber and causing the alarm to go off. Now, before this and before the advent of this technology, you literally had to be home, hear the beep, and then respond. Now you can respond from wherever you may be. Once an alert is sent to your phone, you can then respond. But not only that, added to that, you have the added advantage of now taking care of our persons who are differently able, especially those who are hard of hearing and who are hearing impaired. They can receive a vibration either on their smartwatch or vibration through their phone, so that when they are asleep, probably 3 a.m. in the morning, the vibration is going to awaken them, and then they can take evacuation measures. That is an added plus that we want people to have.
All right, and where can persons get this particular smoke detector as well?
Right, so there's only one company that has this particular type of smoke detector, and that is a company called IRP Fire and Safety Limited. They were so kind to donate a number of these to the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, which we've shared with all our fire prevention departments, and they're now outfitting these at-risk homes and these at-risk children's homes with at least one of these detectors. Of course, they're in limited supply, but we're willing to share at least one with our communities.
Okay, and Officer Winchester, is there a way that persons can reach out to you and your office if they know of someone or of a home that is at risk that would really benefit from having these smoke detectors?
Sure, you can call the fire service 639-4944 and ask for the fire prevention section. If you need to, you can ask Officer Winchester in particular, and I will deal with it personally.
All right, excellent.
good.
We want to thank you guys so much for coming on this morning and, really giving us information on the fact that there are new smoke detectors on the market, and it is so important for persons to ensure that their homes, their apartments are, fully outfitted to prevent, the loss of life and limb in the event of a fire. So again, thank you so much, officers. Guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussion. Thank you for your likes, your shares and comments, and all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Remember, as we rebuild, as we get back to where we were, and even surpassing it, you have a role to play. So you have to do your civic duty by ensuring that you share our new Facebook page with your friends, alerting them that Tobago Updates has a new Facebook platform, and we will look forward to seeing you, your friends, and your family following us very soon. So thank you guys and have a great day.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.